John Matthew Stafford, born February 7, 1988, is an American football quarterback for the Detroit Lions of the National Football League, NFL. He was raised in Dallas, Texas, and attended Highland Park High School. He played college football at Georgia, and was drafted by the Lions first overall in the 2009 NFL Draft. Stafford is the fourth quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 5,000 yards in a single season, being one of three players to do it in 2011, and is the fastest player in NFL history to reach 30,000 passing yards. 109 games. Stafford also holds the NFL record for the most comeback wins in a season, recording 8 in the 2016 NFL season. In 2017 he signed a $160 million extension with the Lions, making him the highest-paid player in NFL history. Early years. Stafford was born in Tampa, Florida, to John and Margaret Stafford. He lived in Dunwoody, Georgia, while his father attended graduate school at the University of Georgia. He was the eldest of 5 siblings. His family then moved to Dallas, Texas, and Stafford attended Highland Park High School with Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw. He was coached by Randy Allen and was widely considered to be one of the best high school quarterbacks in the United States in the class of 2006, ranked ahead of Tim Tebow. In 2005, he led his team to a perfect 15-0 record and won the UIL 4A Division I state championship. During the playoff run, Stafford beat Ryan Mallett's Texarkana, Texas 38-31, as well as Jevon Snead's Stephenville 41-38. Stafford had over 4,000 yards passing despite not playing in the first 3 games of the season due to a knee injury. Stafford received numerous accolades, including being named to the Parade All-America team and the USA Today preseason Super 25 in 2005. He also won the MVP and Best Armor awards at the 2005 Air Sports Elite 11 Quarterback Camp and was named the 2005 Air Sports National Player of the Year. Regarded as a 5-star recruit by Rivals.com, Stafford was listed as the No. 1 pro-style quarterback prospect in the class of 2006 by Rivals.com, before he had even started a game at the collegiate level. Analyst Mel Kiper, Jr., predicted, correctly, that Stafford would eventually be the first pick in the NFL draft. College career. Freshman season. Stafford graduated early from high school and enrolled at the University of Georgia in January, where he became the first true freshman quarterback to start for the Georgia Bulldogs football team since Quincy Carter in 1998, and first out of high school to start since Eric Zaire in 1991. Stafford wore number 7 at Georgia. He completed 5 of 12 passes for 102 yards and 1 touchdown in a Georgia spring game. Stafford debuted late in the season opener of the 2006 season against Western Kentucky and went 3 of 5 passing for 40 yards and a touchdown pass. During the season's 3rd game, against South Carolina, starting quarterback Joe Tereshinski III was injured, forcing Stafford to come off the bench. Although he completed just 8 of 19 passes for 171 yards and 3 interceptions, Georgia won the game, 18-0, against University of Alabama Birmingham the following week. Stafford made his first collegiate start. Georgia won, 34-0. Victories over Colorado and Mississippi improved Georgia's record to 5-0. But the heart of the conference schedule loomed. The rest of the season was up and down for Stafford and the Bulldogs. Following home losses to both Tennessee and Vanderbilt, UGA head coach Mark Richt named Stafford the starter for the rest of the season ahead of Terushinsky. Stafford completed 20 of 32 passes for 267 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 27-24 win over Mississippi State, and was named the SEC Freshman of the Week for his efforts. Statistically, he had his best game of the season against the 5th-ranked Auburn Tigers. Stafford finished the game 14 of 20 for 219 yards and a touchdown, and added 83 rushing yards and a touchdown on 7 carries in Georgia's 37-15 upset win. The following week, Stafford led the Bulldogs on a 12-play, 64-yard drive and threw the game-winning touchdown pass in Georgia's 15-12 win over No. 16 Georgia Tech. Stafford completed his freshman season by leading Georgia to a 31-24 come-from-behind victory over Virginia Tech in the Chick-fil-A Bowl, after the Bulldogs trailed 21-3 at halftime. Stafford threw for 129 yards and a second-half touchdown to spark the comeback and allow Georgia to finish the season with a 9-4 record. Sophomore season, Stafford threw for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bulldogs defeated the Oklahoma State Cowboys 35-14 in the season opener. Against Alabama, the Bulldogs avoided an 0-2 start in SEC play by escaping Bryant-Denny Stadium with an overtime win. Stafford connected with senior wide receiver Mikey Henderson on the Bulldogs' first play from scrimmage in overtime for the winning score. In the win over No. 9 Florida, he completed 11 of 18 passes for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns, including the career-long touchdown pass of 84 yards to Muhammad Massaquoi and a 53-yard touchdown pass to Henderson. The wins over Florida, Auburn, and Georgia Tech marked the first time that Georgia had defeated all 3 rivals in the same season since 1982. Stafford had 175 yards passing and a touchdown pass during Georgia's 41-10 rout of the No. 10 Hawaii Warriors in the 2008 Sugar Bowl. He completed 194 of 348 passes for 2,523 yards, 194.1 game, and 19 touchdowns as well as 2 rushing touchdowns for the season. Stafford helped lead Georgia to an 11-2 record, their best mark since the 2002 season. Junior season, Stafford was chosen to Athlon's preseason Heisman Favorites Others to Watch list. Georgia was ranked number 1 in both the preseason coaches poll and the AP poll, marking the first time Georgia has ever been number 1 in the preseason version of either poll. The team also entered the 2008 season with the longest active winning streak among the 66 BCS conference teams, having won its last 7 games of the 2007 season. In the final regular season game against Georgia Tech, Stafford completed 24 out of 39 attempts for 407 yards and 5 touchdowns, setting a personal record for touchdowns in a single game, albeit a 45-42 loss. Stafford finished the season with 3,459 passing yards, the second most in school history, and 25 touchdowns, the single-season record for passing touchdowns. He also rushed for a touchdown in 2008. Georgia finished the regular season with a 9-3 mark and qualified for the Capital One Bowl, after defeating Michigan State 24-12 and winning the MVP of the 2009 Capital One Bowl. Stafford finished his 3 years at Georgia with a 3-0 record in bowl games and a 6-3 record in rivalry games, 1-2 against Florida, 3-0 against Auburn, and 2-1 against Georgia Tech. Stafford chose to forego his senior season and entered the 2009 NFL Draft. Awards and honors. Named SEC Freshman of the Week twice during the 2006 season. Named Rivals.com's National Freshman of the Week for his performance against Auburn on November 11, 2006. Received the University of Georgia's 2006 Offensive Newcomer of the Year award. Named to the 2006 SEC Coaches All-Freshman Team. Named Defensive MVP of the 2006 Chick-fil-A Bowl. Named All-America in 2008 by Pro Football Weekly. Named to Second-Team All-SEC in 2008. MVP of the 2009 Capital One Bowl. Statistics. Stafford's 25 touchdown passes in 2008 broke the previous Georgia record of 24, set by D.J. Shockley, 2005, and Eric Zaire, 1993. 1994. Stafford's 3,459 yards passing in 2008 were second most in Georgia history, surpassed only by Zaire's 3,525 yards in 1993. Professional career. Already after the 2008 NFL Draft, several NFL analysts predicted Stafford would be the number one pick in the 2009 NFL Draft if he chose to leave school early. He eventually did, and on April 24, 2009, agreed to record contract terms with the Detroit Lions to become the first overall pick of the 2009 NFL Draft. One day before the draft was held, the six-year contract reportedly contained $41.7 million in guaranteed money, the most guaranteed to any player in NFL history until July 30, 2010, when quarterback Sam Bradford signed a deal with $50 million guaranteed, and carried a total value of up to $78 million. 2009 season. On September 6, 2009, Lions head coach Jim Schwartz announced that Stafford would be the Lions' permanent starting quarterback heading into the 2009 season. Regarding his decision, Schwartz stated, "This isn't an internship or an experiment." Stafford beat out veteran Daunte Culpepper for the starting job. Stafford made his first start in the NFL on September 13, 2009. He was one of four rookie starters for the Lions: Brandon Pettigrew, Louis Delmas, and Sammy Hill, in the season opener against the New Orleans Saints, and was the first Lions rookie quarterback to start the season since Greg Landry in 1968. He completed 16 of 37 passes for 205 yards and 3 interceptions. He was intercepted twice by Darren Sharper, the other time by Scott Shanley. He also ran in a 1-yard touchdown. On November 22, 2009, Stafford threw 5 touchdowns in a 38-37 win over the Cleveland Browns, becoming the youngest quarterback ever to do so, being more than a year younger than the former record holder, Dan Marino. In a thrilling ending, Stafford received high acclaim when he stepped back onto the field despite team doctors' urge to stay on the sideline after suffering a separated shoulder on the previous play and threw the final touchdown pass as time expired. In addition to the 5 touchdown passes, Stafford accumulated 422 yards passing, a record for a rookie at that time. For his performance, Stafford won NFC Offensive Player of the Week and Pepsi Rookie of the Week. Stafford was MIC'd up for the game for NFL Films. The show's creator Steve Sabol said it was the most dramatic performance he's seen in the show's 30-year history. To begin Week 12 on Thanksgiving Day, Stafford went 20-43 for 213 yards with a touchdown pass but threw 4 interceptions in the 34-12 loss against the Packers. In Week 13, Stafford went 11 of 26 for 143 yards with a touchdown but threw 2 interceptions in the 23-13 loss at the Bengals. Stafford was placed on injured reserve on December 24 for the minor knee injury. Stafford concluded his rookie season having passed for 2,267 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions. In all 10 of the games he started for the Lions, he either threw or ran for a touchdown, despite the Lions finishing the season 2-8 in games that he started in. The Lions did not win another game without Stafford and finished with a 2-14 record overall. 2010 season. After throwing for 83 yards in the first half, Stafford injured his right shoulder in the season opener against the Chicago Bears on September 12. Stafford returned on October 31 against the Washington Redskins and threw 4 touchdowns to lead the Lions to a 37-25 win. On November 7, Stafford re-injured his right shoulder in the fourth quarter of the Lions' 23-20 OT loss to the New York Jets after throwing for 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. The Lions announced that Dr. James Andrews had performed surgery on Stafford's throwing shoulder, which included an AC joint repair and a clavicle shaving. The surgery ended his 2010 season, leaving the Lions at 1-2 in games he started and bringing his career total with the Lions to 3-10. The Lions finished out the 2010 season with a 6-10 record and missed the playoffs. 2011 season. The Lions opened the season on September 11 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with high expectations. Stafford played well, throwing for 305 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception in a 27-20 win. The first season opener the Lions had won since 2007. Another strong performance followed, with Stafford throwing for 4 touchdowns, 294 yards, and an interception against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 2, leading the Lions to a 48-3 blowout victory, the largest win margin in team history. Stafford won the FedEx Air NFL Player of the Week for his performance. In Weeks 3 and 4, Stafford led the team to consecutive comeback victories. A 26-23 overtime comeback victory over the Minnesota Vikings after trailing 20-0 at halftime in Week 3, and a 34-30 win over the Dallas Cowboys after trailing 27-3 with 12:27 left in the third quarter. Week 5 saw Stafford orchestrate a 24-13 win over the Chicago Bears, going 19 of 26 for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. This marked the first time the Lions had gone 5-0 since 1956, the year before they won the last NFL championship. In Week 10 against the Bears, Stafford threw 4 interceptions, including 2 that were returned for touchdowns on consecutive drives. The game was marred by a brawl that began when Stafford threw Bears cornerback D.J. Moore to the ground by his helmet during a block on an interception return. In response, Moore attacked Stafford and a sideline-clearing brawl ensued. Stafford was fined $7,500 for his role in the brawl. On November 20, Stafford threw for 335 yards and 5 touchdowns as the Lions defeated the Carolina Panthers in another comeback, 49-35. After trailing 24-7 in the second quarter, Stafford became the first quarterback since at least 1950 to win back-to-back games after trailing by at least 20 points. The first to win 3 games in a season after trailing by at least 17 points. and the first to win 4 games in a season after trailing by at least 13 points according to Stats LLC. Data before 1950 is incomplete. On January 1, 2012, Stafford became the 4th quarterback in NFL history and 3rd in the 2011 season, along with Tom Brady and Drew Brees, to throw for 5,000 passing yards in a season after collecting 520 passing yards against the Green Bay Packers in a 45-41 loss in Week 17. It should be noted that in this game, Stafford threw an interception on an attempted 37-yard touchdown pass that, had he been successful, he would have broken Norm Van Brockelen's record for most yards in a game. The accomplishment made Stafford the second youngest quarterback in NFL history to reach 5,000 yards, behind only Dan Marino. Over the last 4 games of the 2011 regular season, Stafford became the only quarterback in NFL history to pass for over 1,500 yards, 15, 11, and 14 touchdowns over a 4-game span. Stafford and the Lions finished the regular season with a 10-6 record, good enough for the Lions to make their first playoff appearance since 1999. During the wild card round in the playoffs against the New Orleans Saints, Stafford threw for 380 yards with 3 touchdown passes and 1 rushing touchdown. But he also threw 2 late picks in the 4th quarter that sealed the loss for the Lions, as they were defeated 45-28. Stafford was named a Pro Bowl alternate for the NFC after the 2011 NFL season. He was later named the 2011 Pro Football Weekly Comeback Player of the Year, AB Comeback Player of the Year and NFL Alumni Quarterback of the Year. 2012 season. While the 2011 season proved to be the best season of Stafford's young career, 2012 was one full of setbacks. During the opening game against the St. Louis Rams, Stafford threw 3 interceptions and only 1 touchdown pass. However, the Lions did find a way to win the game 27-23. Stafford and the Lions lost the next 3 games to the 49ers, Titans, and Vikings. In the ensuing weeks, the Lions managed to win 3 games, including impressive comeback wins against the Seahawks and Eagles, and a dominating performance against the Jaguars. These proved to be the final winning games of the 2012 season as they ended the season with an 8-game losing streak and with a 4-12 record. Stafford finished the season with 20 touchdown passes, a huge drop compared to the 41 he threw in 2011. 17 interceptions, one more than 2011, and second most in his career since his rookie season. 4,967 passing yards on 727 attempts, an NFL record. The previous record was 691 by Drew Bledsoe, and a QB rating of 79.8, the lowest since his rookie season. He also rushed for a career-high 126 yards and 4 touchdowns. 2013 season. On July 7, 2013, Stafford agreed to a 3-year, $53 million extension with the Lions. He will be guaranteed $41.5 million through 2017. Stafford completed 23 of 35 passes for 242 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception on September 29 in a 40-32 win against the Chicago Bears. That gave him 14,069 yards through 49 games, surpassing Kurt Warner, 13,864, for the best 50-game start to a career. I might reflect on that when I'm done playing someday, Stafford said. I had no idea about that, or that it was coming. It's something that I'll probably look back on when I'm done and realize it was something pretty Special. Quote, Stafford also holds the 50-game record for completions at 12.14, over Mark Bulger's 11.15. He's second in career 300-yard passing performances through 50 games at 19, trailing Warner's 29. Stafford led the Lions to a 5-3 record entering their mid-season bye. Stafford defeated the Cowboys 31-30 in the final game before the bye, throwing for 488 yards and a touchdown despite 2 interceptions. Down 30-24 with just 62 seconds to work with and no timeouts, Stafford completed a 23-yard pass to Calvin Johnson to the Cowboys' 1-yard line. He hustled the team to the line as though to spike the ball, but instead jumped over the line for the winning touchdown with 14 seconds to go to 5-3. However, the Detroit Lions would finish 2-6 the rest of the way to finish with a record of 7-9. Lions head coach Jim Schwartz was later fired following the season. Stafford finished the 2013 season with 4,650 passing yards, with 29 touchdowns and 19 interceptions. 2014 Pro Bowl season. On January 14, 2014, the Lions announced Jim Caldwell as their new head coach. The Lions rebounded from a disappointing 2013 campaign by finishing with an 11-5 record, thus earning the NFC's 6th seed, their first playoff appearance since 2011. Stafford finished the 2014 season with 4,257 passing yards, with 22 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and a QB rating of 85.7. On January 4, 2015, Stafford and the Lions went against the Dallas Cowboys in a wild-card playoff game, after the Lions had a 20-7 lead in the third quarter. The Cowboys scored 17 unanswered points to win 24-20. Stafford threw 323 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception during the game. On January 19, 2015, it was announced that Stafford was selected to the 2015 Pro Bowl, his first Pro Bowl appearance. He would be replacing Peyton Manning of the Denver Broncos due to a quad injury. For the game, he was named Pro Bowl Offensive MVP, with 316 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. 2015 season. On December 13, 2015, Stafford reached 25,000 passing yards in his 90th career game, becoming the fastest quarterback to reach this milestone, surpassing the previous record held by Dan Marino of 92 games. On December 21, Stafford posted a single-game career high in passer rating, and broke John Kitna's single-game franchise record with an 88.0 completion percentage. He completed 22 of 25 passes for 254 yards and 3 touchdowns in a Week 1 5-3-5-2-7 win over the New Orleans Saints. Stafford became the first quarterback in NFL history to complete 60% or more of his passes in all 16 games. Despite Stafford's success, the Lions finished with a 7-9 record and missed the playoffs. 2016 season. Stafford started the 2016 season off with a strong performance against the Indianapolis Colts in the 39-35 victory. He finished with 340 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. The Lions followed that up with 3 consecutive losses before getting a narrow 24-23 win over the Philadelphia Eagles to have a 2-3 record. In the win over the Eagles, Stafford was 19 of 25 for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. In the next game, against the Los Angeles Rams, He had 270 passing yards and 4 touchdowns in the 31-28 victory. On December 11, 2016, Stafford broke Peyton Manning's NFL record of most fourth-quarter comebacks in a season with 8. In his career, he has 25 such victories, the most in the NFL since he made his debut in 2009. Stafford got the Lions to a 9-4 start, but he suffered a hand injury in Week 14 and lost the last 3 games of the season to finish 9-7. They managed to get the 6th seed in the playoffs, only to lose to the Seattle Seahawks 26-6 in the wild card round. Stafford ended the season with 4,327 passing yards, 24 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. His 6th consecutive season with at least 4,000 passing yards. He also reached the 30,000 career passing yards milestone. He was ranked 31st by his peers on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2017 season. On August 28, 2017, Stafford signed a 5-year, $135 million extension, making him the highest-paid player in NFL history at the time. On September 10, in Week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals, Stafford finished with 292 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception as the Lions rallied and won by a score of 35-23. It was his 27th fourth-quarter or overtime comeback since 2011, the most in the league. In Week 2, on Monday Night Football, Stafford threw his 193rd career touchdown pass in a win over the New York Giants, passing Bob Grease for 48th on the all-time touchdown pass list. On October 29, in Week 8 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Stafford became the only player in NFL history to throw for more than 400 yards and no touchdowns in 2 different games. On November 6, in Week 9 against the Green Bay Packers, Stafford recorded his 200th career touchdown in the first quarter of the game, becoming the 4th quarterback in NFL history to do so before the age of 30. A list also occupied by Brett Favre, Dan Marino, and Peyton Manning. During Week 13 against the Baltimore Ravens, Stafford had 292 passing yards, a touchdown, and an interception until leaving the game with a bruised right hand. The Lions lost 20-44. On December 31, in Week 17 against the Green Bay Packers, Stafford recorded his 3,000th career completion in his 125th career game, becoming the fastest player to reach the milestone in NFL history. The Lions finished with a 9-7 record but missed the playoffs. Stafford ended the season with 4,446 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. His 7th consecutive season with at least 4,000 passing yards. He also led the NFC in passing yards in 2017. NFL career statistics regular season postseason NFL records. Most passing touchdowns in a single game by a rookie quarterback. 5. Tied with Ray Vivid, Jameis Winston, and Deshaun Watson. Youngest quarterback to throw 5 or more touchdowns in a single game. 21 years, 288 days. First player in NFL history to complete 60% or more of all passes in each game in a season. 2015. Most games with at least 1 touchdown pass in a season. 16. 2011. Tied NFL record. Most consecutive 350-plus yards passing games. 4. 2011-2012. Tied with Drew Brees. Most yards thrown in a single game without a touchdown pass. 443. December 22, 2012. Most passing attempts in a season, 727. 2012. Most pass attempts per game. Career, 39.88. 2009 present. Most pass attempts per game. Season, 45.44. 2012. Most games with 40-plus pass attempts in a season. 13. 2012. Fastest player to reach 15,000 career passing yards. 53 GP. Fastest player to reach 20,000 career passing yards. 71 GP. Fastest player to reach 25,000 career passing yards. 90 GP. Fastest player to reach 30,000 career passing yards. 109 GP. Fastest player to reach 3,000 completions. 125 GP. Most passing yards in first 100 games. Most fourth-quarter comebacks in a season. 8. 2016. Most game-winning drives in a single season. 8. 2016. Lions franchise records. Updated through 2017. Week 17. Most career pass completions 3005. 2009 present. Most passing completions in a single season 435. 2012. Most career pass attempts 4,850. 2009 present. Most passing attempts in a single season 727. 2012. Most passing attempts in a game 63. November 13, 2011 vs. Chicago Bears. Highest career completion percentage 62.0. 2009 present. Highest completion percentage in a single season 67.2. 2015. Highest completion percentage in a game 88.0. December 21, 2015 vs. New Orleans Saints. Most career passing yards 34,749. 2009 present. Most passing yards in a single season 5,038. 2011. Most passing yards in a game 520. January 1, 2012 vs. Green Bay Packers. Most career 4,000 passing yard seasons 7. Most consecutive seasons with 4,000 passing yards 7. 2011 to 17. Most career games with 400-plus passing yards 7. 2009 present. Most career games with 300-plus passing yards 35. 2009 present. Most games with 300-plus passing yards in a single season 8. 2011 and 2012. Most passing touchdowns in a single season 41. 2011. Most passing touchdowns in a game 5. Most career passing touchdowns 216. 2009 present. Most games in a season with at least one passing touchdown 16. 2011. Lowest career interception percentage 2.5%. 2009 present. Most career yards per game 278.0. 2009 present. Most yards per game in a single season 314.9. 2011. Highest career passer rating 86.8. 2009 present. Highest passer rating in a single season 99.3. 2017. Most career fourth-quarter comeback wins 25. Most fourth-quarter comeback wins in a single season 8. 2016. NFL record. Most career game-winning drives 28. Most game-winning drives in a single season 8. 2016. NFL record. Most consecutive completed pass attempts in a game 14. December 4, 2016 vs. New Orleans Saints. Personal life. Stafford met Kelly Hall, the sister of former NFL player Chad Hall, while they were both at the University of Georgia. He was the quarterback of the football team, and she was a cheerleader. They were married on April 4, 2015. In November 2016, the couple announced they were expecting identical twin girls. Their daughters Chandler and Sawyer were born in March 2017. Stafford has a weekly segment on Mondays on The Mitch Albom Show with Mitch Albom on Detroit radio station WJR. Career statistics and player information from NFL.com. Pro Football Reference. Detroit Lions bio. ESPN profile.